Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dylan back again with another DJI Mini 2 tutorial video, and today I'm going to be showcasing and demonstrating the QUICKSHOTs. Now, QUICKSHOT is a built-in quote-unquote intelligent flight mode. Now, those of you that are really into DJI drones and that have other drones other than like the the Mavic Mini or the Mini 2 or the Spark, some of the the bigger drones, the more expensive drones, if you have those, you know what intelligent flight modes are. They're different pre-programmed cinematic flight patterns in the combination of the actual physical placement of your drone as combined with automatic camera tilting and panning and things like that to give you effortless, really cinematic looking footage without your thumbs having to be on the sticks and without having to control the drone. Now, we do not have intelligent flight modes with the Mini 2 as we use the DJI Fly App. For your other DJI drones, you use the DJI Go 4 app, and it has a lot of those drones have the intelligent flight modes where you can get a little bit more, fancy and things like that. You know how it works. The more money you spend, the more you get. But still, these QUICKSHOTs that you have on your DJI Mini 2 are some really awesome pre-programmed cinematic shots that you can easily get. And without any further ado, let's just, let me showcase. All right, so as you can see, we now have the drone airbound. You can see me down there, just right outside of the infield dirt. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, we want to get kind of our drone into its starting position to where it's going to start all these different, QUICKSHOTs. And you can either use like yourself, so like I could use myself as the point of interest or the object or the subject that I want the drone to focus on, or you can use objects or subjects, either naturally made or man-made structures. And I'm going to use this water tower that you can see that I am flying up to. Now, once I get into position, before we start, I'm gonna make sure I go over a couple of things before we start, guys, real quick, just kind of a couple of safety things. All right, so I'm going to take the drone up. You know that I am higher than the water tower now because the water tower was below the horizon. As you can see now, the water tower is poking up above the horizon. That's how we know that our drone is lower than the water tower. But whenever we go up and we see now that the horizon is above the water tower, we know that the drone is physically in higher altitude than the water tower. Now, with all that being said, why am I talking about that? These QUICKSHOTs, any of them that you start, the drone is never going to go down in altitude. It's never going to decrease. It's never going to lower altitude unless you physically pull down on the sticks and override it. So it's important that whenever you're about to do any of these QUICKSHOTs, you want to kind of do a spin around and make sure there's nothing very close to you that's poking up above the horizon, because you know that your drone is either going to stay at its current altitude or it's going to rise in altitude. So that's important because we know we're not going to crash into anything. So now that we know that we have everything remotely around other than that tower, but it's way over there, we're not going to be getting anywhere close to it. Now that we know that everything around us is lower altitude than our drone, then we can start. So how do we get into QUICKSHOT mode? To the far right of the interface, you'll see a big red record button. That's our start, stop, record button for our filming. So above that, you see a little strip, and mine says 4K. It might say 2.7K or it may say 1080, depending on what filming resolution you're filming in. That's not what we're here for to go over. We're going to tap that, and then we're in video mode, and down below the yellow or orange video icon, you will see QUICKSHOT. We're going to tap on that. Now you'll see that there in the middle column we have Droney, Rocket, Circle, Helix. Those are your different QUICKSHOT modes. There's 4 of them, and I'm going to demonstrate and showcase all 4 of them. On the far left column, this is the distance that your drone will travel away from its starting point. So I tell you what, just because we're trying to conserve a little battery and I'm trying to go over all of them, let's do a happy medium. We could do 390 max, 90 min, so let's go around 230. Let's do 250 feet. Okay, so we have Droney selected, we have QUICKSHOT selected, we have 250 selected. Now, what we need to do is I'm drawing a box around what is going to be our subject or object or point of interest. Now again, that could be you as a person, or that could be just about anything, but we're going to use the water tower, and then what that'll do is that'll make the water tower the rock star of all of these clips. It makes it the point of interest, what the drone is looking at. It's moving and all this, but its focus is on the water tower. Now that we have it selected, you notice that we have a green start and we are doing Droney. I'm going to hit start. It's counting down, and as you can see, my hands are off of the thumbsticks, and here is what Droney does for you. Now notice, guys, in the far right of the interface, you have a percentage, and that indicates how much progress your drone movement is through this. If you get in a pickle or in a bind or something goes wrong, you can hit stop, which is what the white X indicates, but we're gonna let it finish. So what that did is the drone literally went up in altitude and it went further away. So it kind of did this nice, you know, angle away shot from the water tower. Then when it's done, it stops. Then when it's done, it'll just return. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't have to push record either. So it started everything, it started recording everything, and it returns back all on its own. And at the end of this, I will actually show you guys the raw clips off of the drone, not through my screenshot interface here. I'll show you what they look like. Now, let's get to the next quick shot to demonstrate what it does. So we're going to tap above the start button on that little Droney icon, then we're going to choose rocket. Then we're going to draw our box around the water tower and hit start. And we're going to do 3, 2, 1 and literally blast off like a rocket. Hands off the stick. You will notice the red record button underneath it. We have about 25% right now. And what it's doing is it's just rising up and it's recording. It's rising up like a rocket, but as it's going up, it's tilted down looking at the water tower. And again, these are all just cinematic, simple shots that the drone can capture for you without you, with you being hands-free. Now that it's done, it's stopped recording and it's returning back to that home point that we started at. As soon as it gets back, we'll get to the next one. Okay, we're going to tap above the green button, then we have circle. Now, what the circle will do is it'll literally like orbit or circle around whatever you choose as your subject or object or point of interest. We're gonna draw our square around the water tower. Now, if you'll notice, look below the water tower on my screen right here, you have an arrow pointing left. That signifies that the drone is going to rotate clockwise. If we want to go counterclockwise, we could tap the other arrow, then it'll go counterclockwise. Let's keep it going clockwise. Maybe, for some reason it's not one. There we go. And start. Counting down, 3, 2, 1. Then it's going to make one full orbit around the water tower. Started recording on its own. You can see the percentage underneath the red record button, and that is our quick shot mode known as circle. Can you see me in the distance at the edge of the, I'm waving. Okay, so we're about 50%, which means it's about halfway around that orbit. And it's going to get back to the starting point once again, and it will stop. And then we will get into our very last quick shot mode. It's kind of losing our point of interest, but not really, because it's keeping the water tower in center frame. That's kind of weird. With things like this, you're always going to have things that aren't perfect, but that's still, it did a really good job, because again, it pretty much left the water tower in center frame. And I don't know why those little green brackets are off to the side, but anyways, it worked. We're going to tap above the green start button, then we're going to click Helix, and let's go ahead and set that for about 260 feet. I'm going to draw my box around the water tower, and then we're going to actually go counterclockwise this time. And without any further ado, start. We get the countdown, and what Helix is going to do is Helix is going to not only go around the water tower and not only rise in altitude, but it's also going to travel further away from the water tower or whatever your subject, object, or point of interest in. So literally your drone is going like, you guys get the point. It's a Helix. So Helix is going to take a while, and I can actually hear the drone pretty good. The wind, it's a little heavier than ideal, than I would like it to be, but I know that it's not too windy to fly in. I do apologize if there's a little wind noise. I have a dead cat, a wind muff on my microphone, so hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. But as you can see, it's doing that weird thing again where it's not keeping the those little green brackets are sliding off to the side. So I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm not going to put this video out because I want to make and showcase honest videos about how kind of this software is performing. And so again though, the water tower is pretty much in the middle of the frame, and it's still a really smooth, good looking shot, so I'm not too worried about it. But a lot of things like this, these little things that go wrong, they can and will be fixed in future you know, firmware updates for, you know, DJI Go 4 or the DJI Fly App in our case. So not just overly concerned about it, but we're getting to about 60%. Now you can see that water tower, the framing, it's slid over more to the right. So it's still a good looking smooth shot, so I'm not too worried about it. But hopefully hopefully you guys will kind of get that fixed in the future. Don't really know what I would have done wrong right there because I framed it up, hit go. It's about all I can do. So we're at about 75%. And then again, guys, as soon as this gets back, at the end of this video, I will show you all the raw footage without the interface of how these clips turned out. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to smash that thumbs up button. Also, please be sure to subscribe, as I will continue to have many more DJI Mini 2 videos upcoming in the future. Guys, I appreciate it. This is Dylan.